Hey there, hello. I am a master thesis supervisor, so I see a lot of strange things from the students I have accumulated over the years. And one particular thing about like the bachelor thesis and master thesis that not majority, but at least a significant proportion of students are struggling with is to write equations. So if you're going to write a lot of equations, I would actually recommend using LaTeX, but most students don't. They use Word, and many of the students are struggling with writing equations in Word. So I thought I would just give some tips and tricks how you can do it to make it look a little bit better. So what quite often happens is that students try to write equation like just immediately directly in the Word document. So for instance, they would just write, x plus y. Let's see, I need to change my keyboard setting, sorry about that. So x plus y equals 2 multiplied by c, or something like that. It does not look very good. We can do this better. So if you go to insert, then you can find equation, and you can add or click insert new equation. Then you get what's called the equation mode, and you can now type in equations and get the proper format of it. Now there is a shortcut how to automatically just open up this equation mode. I think it's Control or Alt Shift equal sign, but the problem with this shortcut is that it kind of varies from language to language. So I know the shortcut in Norwegian, I don't know the shortcut in English. You can Google it, but it doesn't seem to work for me. So unfortunately, I think the shortcut is actually varying from language to language. So for instance, if you want to make your words in a bold font, you can just highlight it and click Control B, but that's just in English. Like B is for bold. In Norwegian, it is actually Control F. F, which is for fet, which just means like you are chubby or thick. So yeah, unfortunately, it kind of varies. But it's an alternative way without using a direct shortcut. You can actually use the Alt button. So if you click the Alt button on your keyboard, you will see that it opens up these different letters here. So I can click on N. Then I can click here on E for echo to open the equation. And then I can click your I. And that will add the equation. So one more time, Alt, November, Echo, India. That will add an equation. But this too, unfortunately, varies with the language. But here you can actually easily figure it out, because once you click the Alt button, it will show you. So insert has like a different letter in Norwegian and other languages, I presume. So my general rule is, if I have to do something 3 times within a work setting manually, then I try to figure out is there an easier and faster way to do that. So if I'm going to type a lot of equations, then yeah, I will just learn that it's Alt N E I, November Echo India. While in another language could be Whiskey Charlie Sierra, for instance. So once you added or start the equation mode, you can start typing in here. So quite often you want to use special symbols or Greek letters. There's here you can actually click and add different symbols, but I would actually recommend that you try to never use this. You can of course look around there and find different things, but my recommendation, avoid it as much as possible. Just learn to do it with code. It's going to slow you down in the short run, but in the long run I think this is going to be actually very, very beneficial for you. So the way this works is essentially like LaTeX. If you want to have the Greek letter alpha, you can write backslash, and then with the Latin letters you type it out, so A-L-P-H-A, alpha. And once you click spacebar, it will compile into the Greek letter. So similar, you can have beta, you could have gamma, and so on and so forth. So all of the Greek letters are in there. So I think I will, let's see, do I want to update? No, I do not want to do that. So I'm going to show different few examples, but one more thing before that, it's often quite, it's common to put like a numeration on the equation, like equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. So what some people will do, they will type their equation, that is something, and then they will just click spacebar a few times, and this is equation 1. Not a good way to do that. So what you can do, and this is a bit tedious of course, but you can add a table. I recommend that you have 1 row, 3 columns. You're going to have your equation in the middle here, like 2x for instance, equals y, whatever. Here you just type parentheses, 2 digits, doesn't matter what it is, and the same over here. Now this is a bit strange, but I want to have this centered on the page, and all the way to the right I want to have the enumeration. So equation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm gonna push this all the way as far as I can, and the same with this. This one I'm now gonna delete. The reason I add it is basically to ensure that the equation is centered actually on the page. If I don't have it, it won't be centered on the page. It will be centered on the page minus this part. So this one is just actually get the centering. And then we can just call this equation 1. So this is how you should type the equations. Of course, you don't want the borders, so you can just right click here, table properties, borders and shading, and you can just have none. So now you have the enumeration. So that's how I would do it. Or actually, I wouldn't do it in Word at all. I would use LaTeX. But if you're going to do it in Word, then this is a way you can do it. And then you just manually change the enumeration. So this is kind of tedious, but it's a way to do it, right? So I was thinking I can just write in a few examples here. So I'm gonna write, let's see, I'm gonna write regression equations. So y underscore I. If you type the underscore, then you can type in something as a subscript, is equal to, and I want to type in here constant term alpha, which I misspelled. Then the plus sign, I can type in beta for instance, and it's going to be x I1 for instance. So if I want several things there, I can use parentheses, and once I click space, it will compile the active segment. That's how you can do it. Let's see, plus, let's see, we can say beta 1 plus beta 2, beta 3, beta 4. So I could just type in here c dots, that's column dots. Then I get this dot 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 instead of just typing dot dot dot. It actually will compile it, I think. No, it won't. Plus, let's see, let's plus beta k for instance, x I k, and then I want to add the residual. That could just be uy, but sometimes you want to use this kind of like, it looks like a e in an echo in cursive, and that is actually, let's see, var epsilon. So that's how you type it. So that's one example of typing in an equation. So pretty nice. The Greek letters, the c dots, and var epsilon. Let's give a few more examples. So of course it takes a little bit of time initially to kind of learn the different things there, but if you know LaTeX, it is like 95% the same, but not entirely. There are some differences. It's not quite obvious what the differences are. So alternatively here, instead of typing out beta 1 plus beta 2 plus beta 3, we can use the summation sign, for instance. So how do I do summation here? I write sum, backslash sum, and then the underscore, and then parentheses, let's say from I equals 1. Actually, we already used y, so I'm going to say j for Juliet equals 1. And then I'm going to use this to the power of sign, the hat, what's it called, is it like a caret, is that what it's called? To k. Then we get the summation sign. And then again I can write in here beta j, and I can type in x I j. So that was another example. Of course we need to make sure here that the borders are invisible. And you would have to actually manually type in 2 here. Now we have a new problem here. Here was just a single line, but this one is kind of taking more space than a single line. So what I would actually do here is to take this numeration and align it horizontally and vertically centered, like that. Now it's better, right? Now it's a bit better. So I think you get the point there, but I'll show a few more examples just for fun. So this is the theoretical model. How do you estimate the beta coefficients? It doesn't matter what the equations are here. I just want to show different things to do here. So for instance, it could be that you want to type in the like the coefficient there, like beta with a hat. So this is your beta, but how do you add a hat over that? You just write backslash hat space. There it is, and you can just move it on the inside. So that is pretty neat. But here we actually see a difference between what you do in Word and what you do in LaTeX. So in LaTeX, you would be writing backslash hat, curly brackets like this, and then backslash beta. So this is how you would do it in LaTeX. But here in Word, I write just hat, compile it by clicking space, and then one more time for good measure. And then inside here, I can type in beta. So if I want to type beta 1, beta 2, you could just do it immediately like this, but then the hat becomes wider and wider. So I actually prefer to not do that and instead leave this hat area outside it and then add the subscript. So beta 1, for instance, is going to equal to the covariance divided by variance. Just take an example here. So if I write forward slash and then hit spacebar, it will create like the ratio here, like the horizontal line. So here it's not really a good way to write covariance here, so I can just write COV between x underscore I and between yi divided by the variance of xi, right? Or alternatively, I could write here backslash sigma underscore, let's see, x underscore I, comma, y underscore I. That's the way to do it. And here you could write backslash sigma underscore x and the caret sign to denote that it's variance. So that's something that you can do. So that's the equation for beta 1. We can also find the equation here for beta 0 or alpha, as I call it here. So let's do that. I'm just going to copy this down here. So we can just write this again, backslash hat. And they can write here alpha. And it's important, you see, it's kind of gray behind there. So actually inside the area here, so I need to use the arrow key here to leave the area. Then I can write equal sign here, and let's see, what would that be? That will be the average value of y. So we denote averages by putting like a horizontal line above the letter, so over y. So to do that, I can just write backslash bar, and there you go. There it is. Minus hat beta, and then I got a plus sign instead. Sorry about that. And then leave the area underscore 1, and in front, and then multiplied with x bar, I think, x bar. So that's the way to do it. Another thing that people often do wrong is like the multiplication sign. People is using the asterisk, like the star symbol on the keyboard. So you can put in, let's see, so it's beta multiplied by x bar, right? So you can put like a multiplication sign like that, but that's not really a multiplication sign. That's like an asterisk. It is treated as a multiplication sign, like on the keyboard, like, you know, in Excel, for instance, if you want to multiply two things, you use the asterisk. But it's not actually the official symbol for displaying multiplication. Now we don't actually need to explicitly have a multiplication sign here, but let's say that you did want to have one. So what could you do? You can write backslash c dot, that's column dot. That's a multiplication sign. Or you could also, okay, let's take another example. What if you have matrices? If you have multivariate model, beta, I'm just going to write in the equation here. Let's see, x to the power of t to the power of, open parenthesis, minus 1, end parenthesis, x to the power of t, and then y. This is this equation over here, or the, sorry, that's the equation for the coefficient estimates in matrix form. So to denote that this is a matrix, I want to put this like parentheses that is like n times 1 matrix, for instance. So let's see, how can you do that? You can type in here, dot under backslash under brace. So you need to move the beta over there, and then underscore something for the time being. Yeah, then you get it under. I can write the parentheses. This is going to be a k times 1 matrix. Like where the equations comes from, the theory really doesn't matter. Just want to display different things. So I could use like the not the asterisk sign, but people often use x here. But that's not, again, it's not the official sign for me to note like times. So what you actually do, backslash times. So k times 1 matrix. That is a lot better, right? So I can do the same here. I can write under brace x, and I can type in here that is, what is this going to be? This is going to be n times k matrix. I could do the same here, but let's do something here. I'm going to write not under brace, but over brace, like that. So x to the power of t. Instead of writing underscore now, I write the caret sign. And what is this? Oh, this will be the opposite. This is a k times n matrix. This can go away. So this is what you could do. Let's see, what else can I show here? I suppose there are many things, like an infinite amount of things you could be doing here. If you don't know exactly how the code for a specific thing, it is easier for you to just like search for it, like for LaTeX. Like, how do I type this? How do I do this in LaTeX? And it will give you a code, and I think like 9 out of 10 times it's going to be the same code. A few more examples. Okay, what about the expectation? Expected value of x. That is usually like an e, which is like a double back, right? Expectation of x. Second right here, backslash double e. That's something you can do. In LaTeX here, actually it would be different. I think it would be mat call, open parenthesis, end parenthesis, e. I think that's the code, and that might be relying on the package. I'm not quite sure. So there are some differences there. Okay, what else can you do? I think you can take the square root. Yeah, that's how you do it. So backslash sqrt, square root. And then you could type something in here, right? Whatever. So if you just can't figure out how to do it, then of course you can always go in here and add it. So let's see, fractions. Different things here. A lot of different things you can do. These are the most common ones. I guess a few more things I could add here is the equation sign. So you can have equal sign, of course. Greater than or equal to, that is backslash GEQ, I think. So greater or equal to, you see that one more time, backslash GEQ. So Golf Echo Quebec. Of course, here in Word, that's how we do it in LaTeX. But in Word, you can actually just type it like this, and it will do it automatically for you. Less than or equal to, L for Lima, E for Echo, Q for Quebec, same thing. What about not equal to? I think that would be backslash November Echo Quebec, like that. What about the like approximate, like the curly equation sign? That would be backslash APPROX. And if you want it to be like not approximate equal to, I think you can just write like this, maybe. Might be wrong about that. Yeah, that I don't remember how to. Okay, so there's an example of something I don't remember how to do. Let's see, but then you can find it in here. There it is, not almost equal to. You can type in that since I didn't remember the code. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, looking at the camera here, I have something on my mouth. What's that? Is that coffee? Coffee stain? Sindre, you are a pig, absolute pig. So yeah, that's how you can type equations into Word. Very nice. I guess we can do one more example with something that I often do. So I'm gonna put an equation here. I'm not gonna put like the numeration, and I want to type in the net present value equation. Again, it doesn't really matter what it is, but net present value is equal to something. And when I'm lecturing for the first time telling students about net present value, I don't really want to have like the short form net present value. I want to rather write that this is like fully what it is. So you could be typing here net space present value. You could do that. Personally, I don't like that. So what I actually would do instead here is to have an array. So arrays you can find in here. So I think I'm gonna go for a 3 times 1 array or matrix. So net present value is equal to, let's see, minus the investment cost. So I can write like this: investment cost divided by the cash flow, a time period t. Let's see, we can type that in as, again, we can use this, the cash flow. I think I want a capital F there, and outside of it, underscore t, like that. Let's see, for I plus the discount rate. Again, we can put a matrix here, the discount rate to the power of t. So that's something you can do too. In LaTeX, you wouldn't do it like this because you can't compile as you write. So in LaTeX, I think, let's just take an example, the net present value thing. It would be backslash substack, and I think you need like a package for that. And then backslash text, and then like this. And then you have to write net, and then double backslash present, and then value. So that's how it would be in LaTeX. Here it was a little bit easier. So yeah, it's something that you can do. What about when your equation is like too big for one line? There's a solution to that. In LaTeX, you would be using array and then have like different rows. You can't really do that here in Word. So what instead I want to write y is equal to a plus b plus c plus d, and then it's too much. I'll just put it across different lines. Let's say we need to do it across 2 different lines. So what you can do, just delete all of this, is to add a matrix like this, and then say y is equal to a plus b plus c. Let's see, and then have a plus sign in the end there. D plus e plus f. So that's something you could do, except now it's centered here. So I would actually want this to be aligned to left there, and maybe there's a way to do it, but I don't know. So what I usually do, I just put in spacebar here to get it approximately there. No, it looks better, something like that. So of course, when you are in the Word document editing it, you can see that it's like a matrix array here. So, but when you save it as a PDF, it's going to be invisible. So yeah, there's an infinite amount of things you could do here in terms of writing equations. This was just like the different things that came on top of my mind. So as I said, if you're going to write equations in Word, please don't just type them in here like this. That's no good. Use the equation mode. which is on the insert, equation, insert new equation. There's a shortcut for doing that. I know the shortcut in Norwegian. It doesn't work in English. I think it's a different equation. I tried to Google it, and it seems that actually it varies extensively what what the shortcut is, because it varies across languages. It varies from like a stationary computer to a laptop, and it kind of varies between like different versions. But you can always use the Alt sequence here. So Alt, and then just look at numbers here. And it is tedious to try to memorize all of this, but you only need to have it in your short-term memory if you're going to work with this on a specific computer. So I think it's well worth it. So there's a lot of these shortcuts that I know by heart by now, but it varies from language to language. And if you want to look something up, it's better to Google it for LaTeX, and there's hope. That's exactly the same here in Word. And if it doesn't work, then yeah, you can look around here. And it's not always easy to find. This is the very slow and tedious way of doing it. So it is very much worth the effort to try to just learn it like you would do in LaTeX. So yeah, I hope to see some more questions that are pleasing to the eye in the future. And yeah, I'm gonna go and drink another cup of coffee.